Hello everyone. Whoa, what is happening with this volume? Some high amount of volume here. Sorry for that. It's been a while. I'm a bit awkward right now, mostly because I'm trying to work on this with a couple of things I've learned. I have landed on this really interesting video by Cycreus. I'll put a link in the description. Hopefully, I do not forget because that is my terrible habit. But it's been quite helpful, enlightening, and I kind of want to discuss about it. I hope I'm saying this right. Um, Mostly talking about talent when it comes to artwork, talent versus practice, and the interesting balance and synergy there is. Um, so basically, long story, well, wow. I can't really say long story short because he'd be the best person to explain this, and I've just lost my window. What the fuck? Uh, Maybe I close it? Oh no, it's right here. Photoshop, you tricky program. This is why I prefer paper. Anyway, so it's quite hard to resume or to at least try and make a resume. I will give you a link to the description or a link in the description to the video because this is quite insightful when it comes to artwork, your art process, how you see things, and how you react. And it's kind of bring back the notion of you there's a lot of hard work that you have to do when it comes to artwork. It's a tongue twister right there, hard work with artwork, but it makes sense. Now, the hard work part is going to be basically learning your anatomy, learning your composition in a sense, learning how to do specific actions, perspective, learning from life. Like the part you find boring is the part you're gonna have to do. And sometimes it may not be the boring part. I mean, if you get some reference that you really like, including reference from other artists, that can help as well. But as mentioned, when you get your formal references and then you attempt to draw from imagination, of course it's gonna be fucking hard. But because of all that knowledge that you've acquired, you will have an easier time. You will notice how to make certain things work, and it's quite a bliss. No joke. It's a major bliss when that happens, but it won't happen all the time. It's like it's a balance process, or really feels like a balance process. Like one time you'll draw well because you've learned from references, recent references that you've picked up, and your drawing from imagination is going to shine. At the same time, there is this process of your eyes getting used to your own artwork and what you've learned. So eventually that glee is going to turn away and you're going to be like, ugh, when do I get to draw good again? So you'll be on the hunt for more moves, more things that you can integrate to your own artwork. So I love that. It makes sense. And maybe I should push it even further with something that I've kind of been not push it even further, just noticing extra things. Ugh, talking about the channel? No, no, no. I'm not talking about the Extra Stage Comic channel. I'm talking about extra things that I've kind of noticed in my personal journey. Because when it comes to artwork, a lot of it is it feels like it's personal journey. And just to explain it, for a long time, a friend of mine and slash mentor was pushing me towards various anatomy books, and I started with Bern Hogarth's. eventually just jumped on the Hogarth. And he did warn me it was going to make my drawings look stiff. And it did after a while. But I never really understood or saw uh, what was really good with Burn Hogarth. I went with Bridgman. I really liked it, but it just, spending my time copying anatomy books just didn't function for me at that time. But recently, or well, not saying recently, I've always had those moments where it's like it's the effort moment, and I just want to do what I like to do. And as soon as I went into that after spending all this time with the anatomy books, eventually things just became much easier. Like I knew how to position a leg or how this leg would look in certain perspective. Um, I knew how to place certain aspects or how the muscle would bend, so I could do and kind of understand how other artists, or so how some of my favorite artists worked. Now that those moments, they're fucking great. Like they're just fucking great. You take that and you're like, wow, I didn't really waste my time learning all those from all those anatomy books, that painstaking moment. And now another head explosion that happened recently, and I call it truly a head explosion because during the Christmas vacation, I took that time just to crunch down on learning new moves, learning drawing stuff, trying to get things settled down. Because me in perspective, I always really wanted perspective. Like ever since a long time ago. Like Alvin Lee, like I always say, one of my greatest inspiration because these drawings so much energy and force. Like I love it. So perspective and I have always been this like wanted relationship. Like, yo, perspective, could you add me to your Facebook? Come on, perspective. Stuff like that, I always wanted to learn even further or to get it or get it, quote unquote. But something happened during those long, long stretching hours. Eventually, at one point, um, I stopped getting sleep for a while. Um, I was kind of obsessed with this. I really wanted this. I didn't want to go. Like I was gonna trying to make sure that 2014 was the year I get a job in drawing. But for that, I had to figure some more things out, and eventually that led to sleepless nights, just trying to draw, 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 draw. And at one point, the drawings just didn't work. Like it just felt like me waking up in the morning and just throwing out paper. But at the same time, that was mileage, and something else happened. Like I don't know if I can just raise this contrast a bit. Like you see those perspective grids. Before, I always used to just, all right, let's set them up. Let's see in perspective. Try to put some perspective. Like I had this, I don't know. Whoops. I was placing perspective grids just to place them and to try and put the figure in perspective. But eventually, I don't know I don't know what happened. Um, I just started seeing the perspective, if you understand what I mean. Like, I could see the form. Like, I could understand, and it's kind of like, and this is why I'm trying to keep this here, this sketchbook paper. It's kind of like the paper slash this area became a window to something that I can picture in my mind. And like once I got into that state, I tried zooming in and out in my head, seeing, can I see it from this position? Can I see it from that position? How does that arm feel bent that way? And I could unconsciously just bend my arm and just see, okay, that's how it would feel. How would the folds feel? There would be, like, I started thinking differently. Like, especially if I try to do it here, it's like, okay, there's a pinch because the arm is just going this way. So now I can just feel the pull of the folding, and now I'm trying to guess how. How am I? How is this pulling? If I look, and this is where reference should come in. If I look, and you can definitely see, like, I've started doing the circling, a lot of circling. Why? Because I'm trying in my mind to flesh it out. How is this going in space? And then adding markers like, okay, well, this is receding into space. And I can still try to, like, it's been like at that moment, I don't know if it was like 4 in the morning. I was just trying to put my figure on paper as if I was trying to work on a 3D animation software. Because I recently tried out ZBrush due to a couple of demands at work, or attempted demands in a sense. Um, but yeah, like I could start seeing these shapes in 3D space along with the perspective line, kind of like showing me the top of an animation program and the bottom floor of a surface. And that kind of helped me in that state to see what I wanted. Now, it's a bliss experience, and I still, whenever the weekend comes, I still try to get into that state, or I try to understand how I got into that state. And it feels like it's just the point where the right side of the brain just takes over, and you just act upon your knowledge, and you don't think about anything else but you're drawing the dimension and what you can picture in your head. Like basically, sometimes I walk past people, and since I'm somewhat tall, I can look down at them to understand the perspective of, okay, their shoulders are this length, making this kind of an angle, um, this kind of an angle when they pass at this angle. In a sense, you know what I mean? They pass at an angle toward me, so I can see their shoulder at this, doing an angle towards their head, like a uh, I, wow, isometric triangle? No, maybe. I am not too sure how to say it in English. I'm sorry, but triangle isocèle. I can only say it in French. I'm sorry, but making this kind of a triangle, and like just having, just being able to see that, getting the picture frame reference. I swear I saw that reference 10 years ago in a beginner's drawing book, but I never got it until recently. And it's just so fucking great because sometimes just drawing is this work of wonder where I can just play with 3D shapes and picture it in my mind, and then start feeling, okay, this shoe feels like what? Like a Nike that I've worn. I remember going to a shoe store. It feels like leathery or plasticky. So getting that feeling, you know, in the drawing, and just seeing how far I can push it, and then going back to life drawing and getting into that same state of mind. It's nuts. It, it's being able just to see that drawing, that conception in your head, and like analyze it in your mind, just going, how does that feel? What kind of texture is this? Is this bubbly? Now, as much fun as it is, I've encountered a couple of issues. Issues that I'm kind of hoping to rectify with, more training and experimenting, because all this was found via experimenting as well. This state of mind was kind of found experimenting at the expense of my sleep. But I want to find more ways to get the right side of my brain to just take over instead of thinking extremely analytically. And I don't know, man. Problem number one is I can't really do this every time. Why? Meaning I can't think of other things while I'm doing this. So while I'm doing this commentary or whatever, I am completely fucking it up. No joke. I can't really pull this off while doing commentary. Next thing is I can't seem to get that same vision on digital medium. I can't seem to get there. Maybe I need to try to get that same state of mind when it comes to painting, or maybe at the same time I should just dive into painting and see see what gives. Learning fundamentals about painting, because frankly I fucking hate painting. It's the bane of my existence, but it's needed. I fucking need it to a certain degree. I'm not saying it's completely needed, but I did notice that while I'm doing the circling around type of technique method, then a lot of my thoughts go towards form instead of line. Like, line becomes irrelevant. Oddly enough, I can't seem to seal any drawings in that state of mind, but fuck it. Doesn't matter right now. I'm blissing with this perspective. But yes, I can't seem to pull this off when it comes to digital software. Maybe it's because I can't see my drawing in color yet. Like, I can't see, or I can't think about its form in color in a sense. Because I did study painting. I did a bit of painting. I really hated acrylics, and I did do color theory one. I want to brush up on color theory again, but there's this aspect of seeing your character in your mind with the lighting, with the perspective, with the environment. That is something I gotta bring out, focus and study, you know? Like, I should think about layer number one. Let's put, let's put this in multiply. Let's put this in overlay. It doesn't seem like it's the way my mind works because it just gives me stale stuff in a sense. But if I start thinking, okay, the shadow goes here, but then again, with this fold, how is this gonna work? How is the shadow going to represent a pinch, a subtle pinch I have? What the? Oh, wow. I'm getting some lag issues here. Sorry. But what is the shadow going to represent here? It's a really awkward state of mind that I want to learn and then do more studies and then integrate that to my studies. Like, just when it comes to life drawing in front of a model, I gotta, in a sense, drop my formal thinking. Like thinking about, let's put guidelines here, let's put guidelines there. No, 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 it's just fucking draw. And that should be the thing. A bit like gesture drawing. You don't think too much when you do gesture drawing. You fucking draw. but at the same time, you're still thinking, but you're not thinking that you're thinking, if you know what I mean. Um, you don't get into that analytical thinking method. And I guess another problem, maybe problem number three, that I can add, because the first one is like I can't talk or think about anything else, which could be good. I shouldn't be fucking talking if I'm drawing, right? Which is why I'm failing at this one. But this is no biggie. So problem number three would be being able to go back to the 2D plane and see the same way, but for animation. Because there's like many times I'm just walking in the streets, I have this music going in my head, and I can kind of see some animation passes, like some animation scenes. And of course, while I'm walking, I can't just pull out a storyboard, but it is something I want to transfer towards the animations I want to do. And I still can't seem to see my character in movement unless I just draw it straight up. And even then, it doesn't come out to the same potential that it doesn't come out to that same potential that I'm tracking down. It feels like I'm just running with it. Which sometimes you gotta do, Sometimes happy accidents are great. But I seem to have more. I seem to be a bit more ambitious nowadays, especially seeing that. I want to be able to picture my character running in my head and then have the ability to just fucking draw it exactly how I picture it. And then improve it as I go along just to go, wow, I can be more badass than my mind. And then get more references, understand how they pull that off, and then, update that cycle. It's a challenge. It's quite a challenge. But if I manage to pull it off, I will be happy as hell. Like, I'll feel like I've bridged another gap. It's like, alright, anatomy, somewhat check. Perspective, somewhat check. Attitude, facial expression, okay, somewhat check. But now I want more. The quest for more, man. The quest for more. That's the artist's goal. And eventually, if I manage to gather a job and perfect this, then yeah, I'll be going sky high. No jokes or references to a specific game from a specific company, but gotta do it sky high. Still, goals, plans, and such. And what else? At the same time, I would kind of want to continue more and more parodies. That's definitely seems to be where I just dive into work head on. If it's a parody, I will take my time and draw that damn thing and have a glee on my face. Now, one thing I need to try and do is while I'm in that glee state, pull out them references and see if I can catch more moves while I do the thing that I do, or do the thing that I love. Because, references always a big help. And frankly, if I manage to pick up some more moves, more power, more moves, be like Dural from Virtual Fighter, get multiple move sets into one. Kind of like Wing Chun in a sense, or Donnie Yen's philosophy. Just mix martial arts, or mix arts in this case. But I don't know. More experimenting. Eventually, I'll be able to see these drawings in my mind, or I'll be able to do that same method that I have on paper, but for digital. Yet, for now, not at all. Not while I'm talking and not while I'm working on this monitor with this tablet. With my tablet PC, it might be a bit better integration. It's something that I'll try and do. Hopefully, I won't lose as much sleep as last time because, back to work, I can't afford to do such things unless it's the weekend, and then, well, that is something else. But yeah, hopefully, just a bit of realization and more stuff to look forward to in the oncoming years or upcoming months. Again, big shout out to Sycrius, Sycra. Difficult to say, huh? Sycrius on YouTube. Go check out his channel. Lots of good talk, lots of great discussion and tutorials. Hell, I'm gonna pick up his tutorial on light and value because I want that value. Also, learning more about pink. Oh, sorry, I'm just wow. Looks like I need some sleep. So, guys, thank you for the support. Except all the hater Capcom fans that didn't like that little parody I made. They really thought it was true. Thumbs up. um, but yeah, thank you all for the support. I am going to learn. Well, I'm going to sleep and then wake up early and draw. All right. Have a good night. See you next time.